It's that time again. The annual conference of the American Society of Ag Consultants, otherwise known as ASAC, is going to be held in Fort Myers, Florida, this November 4th and 5th. Kurt Covington is one of 9 professionals who will address the conference. The other speakers who will cover a wide range of topics represent Florida Farm Bureau, Florida Citrus Commission, University of Tennessee Institute of Agriculture, National Ag Law Center, Risk Mitigators and Advisors, Tyler Associates, as well as the lead economist for dairy at CoBank, and myself, Chrissy Wozniak from North American Ag. The day and a half of presentations will be followed by ag tours on Tuesday afternoon at Echo Farms, one of my favorite places here in Fort Myers. Attendees will experience farming at its most creative, with unique demonstrations, plants, and techniques being used to help farmers and urban gardeners in developing countries. A second tour at Echo will showcase simple technologies that can improve food, water, and shelter for millions of people. A third tour of a hydroponic grower is also being planned. For more information and to register, visit www.agconsultants.org. That's www.agconsultants.org. See you there. Today's Ag Spotlight episode is sponsored by Energrow. Energrow's oilseed pressing system helps farmers crush their feed costs. The easy way to make fresh, homegrown, high-quality meal plus expeller pressed oil right on the farm. The fully automated Turnkey Crush Pro is easy to set up and run 24/7. To learn more, go to energrow.ca. Hi, and welcome to North American Ag Spotlight. I'm Chrissy Wozniak, and today I have the pleasure of speaking with Kevin Juhl, Brian Jardon, and Joel Basinger from John Deere, here to talk about what's new for the industry in 2021-22. Welcome, guys, and thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
We're going to start talking about tractors first. So, Ryan, I'll pick on you. The model, your 2022 John Deere 9 Series tractors have been updated. So can you tell me about what's new with those?
Yeah, you bet. So we've got a significant number of enhancements or improvements, refreshments to the 9 Series tractors coming in for model year 22. So I'll start with the overall model lineup, and that is we've got wheeled machines, 2-track machines, and 4-track machines. And we're the only manufacturer that offers all 3 different machine forms. So regardless if a customer wants a wheeled tractor, a 4-track, or a 2-track machine, they can get that all from John Deere and all from their John Deere dealer. Those wheeled and 4-track machines, so the articulated models, they also got a 20 horsepower increase over their predecessors. And so we can now offer tractors up to 640 rated engine horsepower, which is the most of any manufacturer in the industry for articulated 4-wheel drives. So we're pretty excited to have that kind of power in our lineup, which is definitely something that customers have been asking for. And I can't talk about power without talking about what makes the power, and that's a lot of it comes from a new 13.6 liter John Deere PowerTech diesel engine. And so that's a brand new from the ground up diesel engine from Deere. It's quieter, it's more reliable, it's got increased lugging ability. And last but not least, less maintenance and maintenance costs over the lifetime of that engine. So we're really excited about the performance of that engine and how it's going to handle customers' fields when they're out there in them. So look forward to getting those in the hands of some customers here over the next several months so they can get a chance to experience that themselves. Regarding experience and a customer's operating experience, if you will, those machines. One of the things you mentioned was about the new cab. And so all-day comfort, we know, is something that's really critical and important to our customers. And so these new 9s have a brand new cab on them as well. And so those cabs help keep an operator comfortable in a long day. And it's not only one day, it's multiple days on end that we want them to feel really good. And so that new cab has more headroom, a larger refrigerator, and a host of other amenities to really help you feel as comfortable as possible running a long day or days on end.
Yeah, that's important for sure. And what about integrated intelligence?
Yeah, you bet. So we're excited to have a lot of precision ag features that are integrated into our machines. And I like to say that precision ag is just as much a part of the tractor as wheels and tires or the engine or anything else. That if you buy a tractor from John Deere, you're going to get precision ag capabilities with it. And so that includes a Starfire receiver that's integrated in the cab. That includes a Gen 4 command center display that's already integrated and preloaded with auto track and data sync. The machine has the ability for JD Link from the factory, so it's always connected at all times. Customers have access to the John Deere Operations Center as well, so any customer can access the John Deere Operations Center and create their accounts and analyze their agronomic data there. So yeah, precision ag and precision ag capabilities are all a part of something you get when you buy a tractor from us.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. Can you explain the Automation 4.0 capabilities?
Yeah, so Automation 4.0 came out a few months ago, and one of the things that it came with it is AutoPath, and that is the machine's ability to create guidance lines from previous passes. So assuming that you're documenting with the first pass through the field, all subsequent passes then have guidance lines that are generated from those. So therefore, if you're when you're documenting when you're planting, then your sprayer knows right where to drive and your combine knows right where to drive through the remainder of the season. Automation 4.0 also includes things like machine sync and a host of other precision ag advanced applications that a customer can use too.
That's awesome. So what do you think producers will like best about the 9 Series?
It's really hard to pick just one, I'd say, but I think, the deep integration of precision ag, the comfort to run all day, the overall operator experience are things that I think they're going to be really excited to take part in.
That's great. And what about the new central tire inflation system? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so John Deere CTIS is a part of, or is an optional equipment on the new 8 Series tractors going forward, specifically the 8R tractors, 8R wheeled tractors. That's a system that's integrated into the machine that allows you to basically adjust tire pressure for the task at hand. So for instance, if you're traveling on the road, you would likely want higher inflation pressures in your tires than when you're in the field. Well, today, most customers don't adjust tire pressure when they pull into the field versus when they go back out on the road because of the hassle and the extra time that it takes to do it. Now, with the CTIS system, with John Deere CTIS, they can easily adjust tire pressure on their tractor with the push of a button on the display. So they don't even have to leave the seat, just hit a button on the display, and the system does the remainder of the changes on its own. It'll adjust at a rate of approximately 2 psi up or down. So a change from 10 psi to 16 psi would take approximately 3 minutes to make.
Wow, what a great feature.
For sure.
Yeah.
So it really helps to extend tire life for a lot of road applications. And then for in-field work, it helps to spread that tire footprint out a little more, therefore giving you more flotation and less compaction.
Great. So are they available for order now?
They will be soon. Yeah, this spring we'll have model year 22 tractors available for order.
Awesome. Very good. Well, thanks so much. Next, we're going to talk about planters. Kevin, I'll ask these questions to you. John Deere is offering the industry's first factory-installed integrated tractor and planter solution. Can you tell me about that?
Right. Yeah. So the first time we're offering integrated tractor and planter solution, what we're doing is we're looking at a lot of the pain points that are typically associated with planter applied fertilizer and really addressing those head on. So on the tractor side of things, we have 1,000 gallons on the tractor, and we seamlessly connect that to the tank on the planter, which is 600 gallons to get 1,600 total gallons of carrying capacity. We also factory install a hose routing system called the fluid transfer system that will seamlessly connect those two together. And this may not seem like a lot, but for anyone that's ever done their own hose routing understands that there's a lot more complications when you go to unfold and that tool, and sometimes there's pinch points and the hoses may get kinks in them and they may not work properly. A factory design solution should alleviate some of those problems for our customers. So we increased the fluid capacity. We also increased some seed capacity. So you might be thinking there's a lot of extra weight on the planter itself. So we came out with a way to alleviate that with our factory installed tracks, which decreases the ground compaction for the total system. So really, it's a total planning solution that addresses a lot of agronomic points, pain points that our customers have faced in the past.
Right. Yeah, that's good. And what are the capacity details? How much have they increased?
So on the planter side, we're going to have up to 600 gallons on board. Mm-hmm. On the tractor, 8RX tractor tanks is going to be 1,000 gallon carrying capacity. The CCS capacity for our seed went from 100 to 130 bushels, so a nice 30% increase. All of these increases are really nice because there's the ideal planting window we all talk about. When every time you fall outside that ideal planting window, studies have said you lose 1 to 3% of your optimal or ideal or maximum yield potential. So if a customer is able to run longer in that period, they can get more acres planted within that window and ultimately, drive towards higher yields at the end of the season.
Right. Yeah, that's important. So I understand that the John Deere relative flow blockage detection system is being added to all John Deere air seeding tools. Can you tell me about that feature?
Yeah, so relative flow blockage has been a feature that's been out for a couple of years on specific models. What we're doing this year is adding it to the rest of our lineup. So we added it to our whole drill lineup, so our H500 and H500F series. We also added that to our 730L and our N500 series. So what that's going to allow customers to do is basically monitor their seed and fertilizer flow right from the seat of the cab. This is going to alleviate a lot of in-season pain points when someone may not realize they had a blockage in one of their primaries, and then having to go back and reseed that historically was a common issue that customers have had. And so being able to identify that on the go, clear that blockage out, get the solution and remedy that problem and get back to seeding quickly is what relative flow enables. So it's a great technology that is now available on most of our air seeding tools.
Right. And what do you think producers will like best about these updates?
I think there's going to be there's two main options producers are going to like best. There's the people or the farmers that currently do planter applied fertilizer today. Mm-hmm. They would hopefully see this system as an integrated solution that touches a lot of the pain points that they dealt with or struggled through in the past. They're able to go get a tractor with tanks integrated that don't impede visibility. They're able to go get a planter with increased capacities, and all this is allow them to be able to run longer. They're able to get factory installed tracks on that planter, decrease the weight, decrease the ground compaction, thus leading to better agronomics for those mainframe rows of crops that are growing. Mm-hmm. The whole goal of decreasing compaction is to have all your crops emerge at the same time. So those tracks are going to be a huge benefit for that. Okay. So increase the capacities, longer runtime, hitting the planting window, decrease the compaction, more even emergence across the entire field. And all this is available from one solution. So you have the tractor, the planter, they're compatible. You got the factory installed tracks, those are compatible. And then to round out the total solution is the technology piece of this. So everything from the row unit controller all the way up into the tractor, up into the John Deere Operations Center, we're able to capture and analyze all that data for the customers to use and make more informed decisions going forward.
Excellent. And when will these be available?
So ordering for the new air seeding and planting updates will be June 2nd.
That's awesome. And so now we'll talk a little bit about sprayers and what's new there. And we'll talk to Joel. So John Deere is offering an all-new lineup of Hagie self-propelled sprayers. Can you tell me about that?
Sure thing. And really, when I talk about the Hagies, the new model year 22, I want to say it's pretty much a redesign from the ground up, other than the front boom. So we've kept the front hybrid boom that we introduced a couple years ago, but for the most part, everything else has been redesigned. So I'll start with the cab, since that's kind of the first thing we look at. It's an all new cab. If your listeners or readers are familiar with the X9 cab with our new combine, it's very similar to that cab. So very comfortable. Same options that Ryan talked about with the tractors, with the heated massage chair, leather chair. That is an option you can add in there for those long days in the cab. A refrigerator, an app radio, so things just to help minimize the stress on those long days applying chemicals. Also comes with the integrated precision ag, integrated Starfire receiver, so calibrated from the factory. Comes with JD Link, our wireless data transfer, where they can send the spray data from their machine as they're applying it to the cloud, have it waiting for them when they get back to their office. Also gives them the ability to share that data if they decide to. They can share it with their agronomist. They can share that data with their dealer, who can monitor their machines as they're running to determine if there's maintenance that needs to be done or any potential issues that could arise, and then help them out with those. So just options within the technology. We can get these with the other John Deere technology like AutoTrack Row Sense, which is the mechanical feelers that helps in late season corn to help guide the machine through the field. AutoTrack Vision, which is for earlier, it's a camera on top of the cab that can see the planted corn rows or the planted soybean rows and keep off those rows. Again, reducing the overall stress of application, focusing on getting the correct rate out at the right time. Moving in from the cab, it's a whole new chassis. So we've redesigned the chassis and suspension. So we've moved it down closer to the row. So we've improved the overall ride of the machine and the accuracy. We've added a new solution system called a Power Spray, which is more accurate than what we had out of the previous Haggies. So it gets to that target rate faster, maintains that target rate. So we're having a better application quality as we're putting those fungicides, those herbicides out. And then also you could get an optional extra pump that can load the machine up to 300 gallons per minute. So we've got 3 different tank options, a 1200, a 1600, and now a 2000 gallon option. So with that 300 gallon per minute pump, they can spend less time refilling on the turn row and more time in the field applying, which is the whole point of having that sprayer, is those small windows of application. Then we also have ExactApply, which is our individual nozzle control. So they can control the rates on a row by row basis. So we can have higher accuracy. We see savings of 2 to 5% when using ExactApply. So that's a request that lots of customers have asked for the Haggie. But we maintained a lot of the innovation that Haggie was known for, the front boom. So they have that boom out in front so they can see all of the different nozzles as they're applying. All-wheel steer, which was an option in the past for Haggie and is standard now. So minimizing the damage as we're turning around on the turn rows. And then we also have the balanced weight. So it's right at a 50-50 weight split from the front to the rear. So we have a lighter footprint than some of the other sprayers in the industry. So they can get into that field earlier when conditions might be too wet for some of the heavier sprayers. Wow. So really overall, exciting products out of Haggie. Just really taking it to the next level, keeping the same benefits that we saw in previous years and adding a lot of the John Deere technology to it.
Oh, that's great. And they're supposed to be faster as well?
Right. We've increased the application speed. Yep. So now you can apply up to 25 miles per hour. So getting across those acres even faster. Yeah,
that is awesome. And you've also launched the See and Spray Select for the 400 and 600 series.
Right. So, right. So 400 and 600 series sprayers are our new lineup of our medium and large chassis sprayers from John Deere. Those come with a bunch of new features. I would guess the biggest one probably is the See and Spray Select option on there. Mm-hmm. What that does is it uses camera technology to analyze the field as we're spraying, and it can identify that green weed on that brown soil background, identify it, determine it's a weed, and then spray it all within about 200 milliseconds. So kind of the blink of an eye. So we're moving through the field at about 12 miles per hour. And in our testing that we've done, we've seen on average customers can save 77% of that pre-emerge fallow ground herbicide. So really a nice return on investment for them, where they can take some of those savings maybe and move it into other areas of their farming application. Or if they have issues like resistant weeds, they have the ability now to take some of those more expensive chemicals that maybe were more limited because of the cost, include that into a tank mix to take care of some of those resistant issues. So really exciting technology. Right now, that's just for that fallow ground. So we don't have the ability to distinguish a soybean from a pigweed or anything like that. So just for those areas kind of like in the Canadian prairies, the east of the Rockies and the Pacific Northwest, Australia, that have chemical fallow in their current production system. But it's a new technology. We're going to continue developing that. We have lots of other avenues that this technology can start being brought into. We're really looking at, in the past, we managed our crops in an overall field basis. And then we moved into zones where we manage different zones. And our goal is to get on a plant by plant basis. So how do we manage that individual plant for its ultimate crop yield? And this is the first step in that journey.
Right. This is an exciting time to be in agriculture.
Right. It really is. And the options, there's all kinds of ideas. Universities are working on these ideas. How do we identify fungus pests in a certain area and just, attack that right in that specific zone on that specific plant. And we're working with those universities. See and Spray Select was a collaboration between John Deere and the University of Southern Queensland in Brisbane, Australia. So we're working with all kinds of different universities and other parties to bring this technology to our customers on a broader basis.
Excellent. That's great. And when will those be available to order?
So the Haggie and the 400 and 600 series will both be available to order on June 2nd.
Great. Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me today. And thanks to everybody who's watching or listening. If you want to learn more, we'll have all of the links in the bio. And thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for taking the time today. We really appreciate having you.
Yeah, you too. The way we conduct business in agriculture has endured a drastic change. Our handshake industry has traditionally been face-to-face, but with the cancellation of in-person events and farm shows, everyone has had to adapt, from farms to manufacturers to service providers. With a dizzying array of marketing and digital business choices, you need to make the right decisions or risk not being seen at all. If you need advice or a customized plan for your business, don't hesitate to reach out to me at chrissywozniak.com or chrissy.info, because that's easier to spell. Don't risk not pivoting your business. Find a path that will take you into the digital space and be seen by our industry.